UFC Fight Night Hall vs Strickland has taken another blow as the heavyweight bout between Chris Daukaus and Shamil Abdurakhimov has fallen off the card. The bout was initially set to be the co-main event of the card, which was already somewhat lacking in star power. In the card of 13 fights, 7 in the prelims and 6 in the main card, we have a good main event between top 15 middleweights, but now with this co-main event, the card is looking as dull as CM Punk's MMA career. We still have a great non-UFC fight this weekend which doesn't need the UFC tag behind it. For me and most of the MMA fans, this single fight is way more interesting than the whole fight night card. So here I'm gonna tell you which good fights are happening this weekend that you shouldn't miss. So hello MMA fans and welcome to the Fight Book. Let's start from the prelims of Hall vs Strickland, where there are two fights that you might find interesting. First is a welterweight bout where an undefeated with a record of 7-0, Orion Cosce makes his UFC debut against Philip Rowe, who just lost his UFC debut back in February 2021 and now holds the professional record of 7 wins and 3 losses. Second is the women's bantamweight bout where the inaugural UFC women's flyweight champion Nicco Montaño is making her return to the octagon after almost 2 years. Nicco Montaño, whose MMA record is 4 wins and 3 losses, won the inaugural UFC Women's Flyweight Championship back in 2017 by winning the Ultimate Fighter 26 Women's Flyweight Tournament finale. She was later stripped of the title after being hospitalized due to her weight cut for UFC 228. She made her return after 2 years in the bantamweight division against Juliana Pena, where she suffered a unanimous decision loss, and now she is again returning after 2 years layoff against a fighter who's won 3 in the UFC and is on a 2-fight losing streak. Rani Yahya will take on Young Ho Kang in a bantamweight bout in the co-main event. Yahya's background is grappling and he has many championships in this field. Yahya joined UFC in 2011. His MMA record is 27 wins and 10 losses, while his UFC record is 12 wins and 4 losses. 21 of his 27 wins came via submission. He won his last fight with arm triangle choke back in March 2021. Kang, on the other hand, joined UFC in 2013 as a former Road FC bantamweight champion, and now he's riding on a 3-fight win streak, 1 by submission and 2 by split decision. He has competed in 4 different weight classes from 135 to 170 pounds. He holds a professional record of 17 wins and 8 losses with the UFC record of 6 wins and only 2 losses. Top 15 middleweights looking to take another step forward in pursuit of their championship ambitions clash in this weekend's main event as Uriah Hall steps in with Sean Strickland. Strickland is number 11 in the middleweight rankings and has won 4 fights in a row. The 30-year-old began his MMA career at the tender age of 17 in King of the Cage and eventually became the middleweight champ in that promotion. He successfully defended that title 5 times before he entered the UFC in 2014. He has compiled a good record of 10 wins and only 3 losses in the octagon, while his overall MMA record is 23 wins and 3 losses. He has only one famous opponent in his record, and that is Kamaru Usman, who defeated him by unanimous decision back in 2017. His most recent victory came against Krzysztof Jotko in May 2021. He is a high-volume striker with crisp boxing and is a great danger for Uriah Hall to move up the rankings. Uriah Hall is the number 8 ranked middleweight contender and is also 4-0 in his last 4 fights. The 36-year-old began his MMA career in Ring of Combat and became their middleweight champ twice before joining the UFC in 2013. Unlike Strickland, Hall shared the octagon with many notable UFC fighters like Chris Weidman, Robert Whittaker, Derek Brunson, Kelvin Gastelum and Paulo Costa, but never defeated any of them till 2018. Paulo Costa was his last loss and he's now riding on a 4-fight win streak. Though he's a good striker and has some of the great knockouts, luck was a big factor in him getting the number 8 position in the middleweight rankings. In his last appearance in the octagon in April, he faced Chris Weidman's second time in his career where he beat him by a TKO without throwing a single significant strike. It is a strange main event where the winner definitely doesn't get a title shot and has very few chances to enter in the title contention. Now let's talk about the true main event. Bellator's double champ and one of the best featherweight of all time in the world of mixed martial art, Patricio Pitbull will try to defend his featherweight title against the undefeated AJ McKee in the final of Grand Prix featherweight tournament in Bellator 263. Launched in September 2019, Bellator Featherweight Grand Prix is set to conclude on Saturday. The fight card includes the Featherweight Championship, the return of Usman Nurmagomedov, and a featherweight co-main event with title implications. This card has the potential to be the best fight card in Bellator history. Since joining the promotion in 2010, Patricio Pitbull has been the most successful Bellator fighter of all time, currently ranked as number 1 in Bellator's pound-for-pound rankings. He became the featherweight champion in 2014 after winning 2 tournament championships along the way. After losing the title in 2015, Pitbull had a small stint at lightweight. Ultimately, Pitbull only had one fight at lightweight and returned to the featherweight with a vengeance and won his title back in early 2017. Since winning the title back, he has now dominated everyone put in front of him. Just like Conor McGregor, when he thought there was no competition in the featherweight division anymore, he moved up to the lightweight division again and challenged then champion Michael Chandler. He knocked out Chandler in just 1 minute to become Bellator's double champ. The talent gap between the champion and contenders was thick enough to where a tournament was the only way to determine the number one contender. Nearly 2 years later, Pitbull finds himself against the only fighter left in his way. AJ Mickey could be the most talented fighter at 145 pounds in the world. If Mickey wants to make this a reality, he will have to get through the long-standing champion. At 26 years old, Mickey has built up a record of 17 wins and no loss. Despite facing less competition than Pitbull, Mickey has not reached his full potential. Coming into the Grand Prix featherweight tournament, Mickey was someone to watch. He got off to a fast start with an 8-second knockout, then rode the momentum into the second bout, finishing the opponent by third round submission. He faced his hardest test against Caldwell. He earned his title shot by submitting him in the semi-final in the main event of Bellator 253. This submission was the submission of the year 2020. He now has the chance to explode into superstardom with this win. Here is a bonus fight for you which is also happening in Bellator 263. Khabib Nurmagomedov's cousin Usman Nurmagomedov takes on Manny Muro, who's on a 3-fight win streak with a professional record of 11 wins and 6 losses. Khabib Nurmagomedov is not just his cousin but his coach as well, and he is also undefeated with the record of 12 wins and no loss. Coach Khabib is also undefeated in 2021 with the record of 5 wins and no loss, so it would be much interesting to see how Nurmagomedov defends his and his coach's undefeated status. Now let's wrap up here. If you enjoyed any part of this video, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends if you wanna do a part to grow this channel. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you don't wanna miss the preview of UFC 265, hit the bell icon and turn on the notifications. I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, do whatever you want.